Alright guys, welcome to this stream. We have the Russian Grand Prix today, and it's going to be pretty exciting considering there's heavy rain. By the looks of it, the rain will stop by the time qualifying should start, so in 20 minutes time the rain will have cleared away and we will have the ability to actually go racing, unlike in Spa, which I'm looking forward to. Alright, so there's quite a lot of stuff to talk about. Valtteri Bottas has been on form this weekend. He's usually very good around Sochi. He got his first win here, and then also won here last year. So he's on form, very well, very good. Hopefully he can beat Hamilton as well, because well, he hasn't got a seat at Mercedes anymore, so he probably wants to get the most of that Mercedes seat and maybe get a win, his final win for Mercedes, which would be very nice to see. Hi, Ditvik, MCTG, Crushed Potato, and Awesome Pig 99. And then we have Max Verstappen, who got a 3-place grid penalty last weekend, because of the crash between himself and Lewis. And then he will be starting from the back of the grid this weekend because he has an engine penalty. So he was going to get a 3-place grid penalty anyway, so Red Bull were like, right, screw it, we'll just take a new engine and start right from the back. And I don't think that's going to be too much of a disadvantage for Max, considering if it's going to be wet tomorrow, Max is amazing in the wet anyway. And in 2018, I think he overtook 10 people on the opening lap. Max Verstappen overtook 10 people on the opening lap. So in 2018, so I'm pretty sure he'll be able to do that again, because you don't lose the skill to do 10 like amazing overtakes. Could the Italian Jesus get Q3 again? Well, he definitely could, but he had a pretty big crash in FP2, which I think is FP1. Yeah, in FP1, probably dented his confidence quite a lot, because he sort of went over the curb and then the car got hooked on the curb and then spun around, which isn't ideal considering the whole rear wing, and maybe his gearbox was also damaged because of that. So we'll see if Giovinazzi can carry on his streak of qualifying performances in Q3. It is rain, I can confirm. Raining pretty hard, yeah. Alright. And then, so, according to qualifying pace in the dry, which is completely irrelevant at the moment right now because it's soaking wet, but the Mercedes were 2/10 quicker than the Red Bulls. And it's looking good for Mercedes because they've had a string of races where they've sort of not executed the race to, like, they've always made like one tiny mistake which has cost them the top step of the podium, and just a string of messy performances for the past few weeks. So the extra pace advantage is definitely going to help the Mercedes team out. And all right, can you get mod this weekend, as well? I'll think about it. I'll do it, maybe. I'll do it tomorrow if I'm going to do it. Yeah. Wonder where Bottas will go. I think Bottas will have... Well, Bottas isn't very strong in the rain, but he is very good around Sochi. So we'll see what he can do. I think he'll have quite a strong performance, because even if you aren't that good in the rain, Sochi is very much about getting a rhythm. And once you're into the rhythm, it's a lot easier to drive around this circuit. And yeah. Alright, so 15 minutes till Q1 begins. And yeah, just excited for it to start, and then we can see the cars out on track. And also it'll be very important to get out in the front, because obviously you'll have less spray, and spray is probably the biggest factor contributing to your lap time. So, and yeah, maybe George Russell, could replicate his Spa qualifying performance and get P. He got P2 in Spa, yeah. So maybe he could get somewhere into the Q3, yeah. Predictions: how many Valtteri James we're going to hear this year? Well, this weekend, I think Valtteri just won't listen to James. He'll just be like, screw you, James, you've already messed up my season enough. I'm just going to send it and just take out, stay in P1. I don't like the weird few corners in Sector 3. Yeah, in Sector 3, especially in the F1 game, turn the corner after I think it's 3 corners after the straight. There's an off-camber corner which always spins you out, and I think Danny Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, spun out there last year. So it's not just me that finds it weird. It's rather odd. The final sector, but it's full of 90-degree corners, which is very important to get a rhythm around. And Valtteri Bottas is quite good at doing that around this circuit. I don't think Bottas is going to go bowling. I think he's learned from his mistakes, and he will not just lock the brakes up into turn one. But Mazepin, I mean, Lewis Hamilton won his home Grand Prix. Max Verstappen won his home Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo won the Italian Grand Prix, and he is part Italian. And then we have Nikita Mazepin, who is Russian at Sochi in Russia. So we'll see what he can do, but I don't expect anything from him. Yeah. Hello, Ivan. Yeah. Right. All 19 drivers cash and Mazepin wins on lap one. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's actually more likely the race will be cancelled of just all of the rain. All right, we've already got a yellow flag out on track, so that's not looking good for anyone that actually wants to go racing. The F2 race was cancelled because of heavy rain, and they delayed it, so they've postponed that race. We'll see if qualifying actually goes on. I'll get the official FIA live info feed or whatever, and I'll double check what's actually happening of qualifying. But we have 12 minutes and 23 seconds to go for qualifying to begin. All right, so it's dry at the moment in Sochi. So as in there's no more rain coming down. There's rain on the track, of course, but there's no more rain coming down, which is looking good because that's what they want to see when you're trying to get some qualifying done. Yeah. I think most of the teams will be doing will not be doing a rain dance because in fact I think at Sochi they had 15 centimeters of rain or something. No, not 15. It was 1.5 inches of rain, which is the average amount of rain they get in an entire month. But it has dried out, so it will be probably intermediate tyres that everyone will be on. And yeah, FP3 has been cancelled, but Bottas topped FP1 and FP2, so he is on form for this. And both Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen will be starting from the back of the grid, both with new engines, and the Ferrari engine has got an upgrade as well. Leclerc said he felt good about the upgrade, and it's gotten some extra power, and he's looking forward to the overtaking, which will be exciting to see because Russia isn't exactly the most interesting race every single year. So if we've got Max and Charles going through the field, that'll be very exciting to watch as well. But this is basically Hamilton's golden opportunity to reclaim the championship lead. He's 5 points behind Max Verstappen right now, and with Max Verstappen starting last and Lewis Hamilton probably starting P1 or P2, unless there's a wild George Russell to take pole position, Lewis is going to have a very good chance of retaking the championship lead, and Max Verstappen will be doing his best to just limit the damage as much as possible because he does not want to go on the back foot doesn't want to go on the back foot. Yeah. So so I'm looking at the official Sky feed as well, and there's no rain whatsoever that's falling, which is very good, in fact. I just need to change the stream title to say Q1's starting because it is. Now we'll get going for quali. Oops. Max will probably do a first to last challenge. In fact, yeah, Max is exactly doing that. Um, Imagine if George takes out Lewis Valtteri style when he's getting lapped. I think George won't be getting lapped if it's raining. George has got some pretty good wet performance, and yeah. So it will take quite a lot of skill to drive around in Sochi in the rain because I don't think they have the best drainage, as far as I can remember, because the track is mainly flat. Um, there is nowhere for the water to go. It's just hovering. Well, not hovering. It's just there on the track. It's not moving anywhere. So they'll have to wait for the F1 cars to drive over and to kick up all of the spray for the track to actually be cleared. And aquaplaning is going to be a very big issue. With all of the intermediate tires, because if it's full wet conditions but the intermediate tires are quicker, aquaplaning is definitely going to be very easy to do, especially with locking up as well. Into turn 2, locking up was very easy. Antonio Giovinazzi and Pierre Gasly, um, and I think Seb Vettel as well, all either locked up or went straight on at turn 2, and that was in the dry conditions. So in the wet it's going to be even harder, and I don't think anyone has any wet experience around Sochi as well. I don't remember the last time it rained around Sochi, um, in recent Formula One history. So yeah, it's looking. I think this might be the first time these guys, the Formula One drivers, actually drive around Sochi in the wet, which will be interesting because they'll have to learn about all the new lines, and it's very much about adaptability. Um, Whoever can adapt to the conditions the quickest and find out the quickest racing lines and the best braking points will get into a high qualifying position. Yep. So we have confirmation from Haas, Haas, Aston Martin, and my own eyes that it's not raining in Russia. Well, in Sochi. So yeah, I can confirm not raining. So qualifying will be going ahead. Apparently, Bottas is just looking to go for pole position. Um, all right, so the marshals are currently clearing off water off the curbs. So the curbs have gathered a lot of standing water, and the marshals are just clearing the water off the curbs right now. But um, that's what's going on. I know it's very odd that Sochi's got all of this rain all of a sudden because they went over their monthly like average of rain in one day. So yeah, very big thunderstorm that happened early this morning in Sochi, and yeah, the safety car's driving around. It looks pretty dry, so it'll be intermediate conditions, and there won't be too much spray going around. It's just standing water on the track now, no more rain. Um, and I don't think there is any more news about Volkswagen or Porsche joining F1 because if they're going to do it, they'll probably do it in 2024 or 2027 when the new regulations are out, depending on the engines. So, all right. Any new Formula One fans, or just anyone just wants a quick recap? So, how this works: Q1 is 18 minutes long, and all 20 drivers will take part, and the slowest 5 will be eliminated. Then Q2, which qualifying 2, is 15 minutes long, and then the 15 drivers which weren't eliminated take part, and then another 5 get eliminated. And then in Q3, it's the top 10, and out of the top 10, everyone just goes to try and set the fastest lap possible. And whatever positions there are today, that is where they will start the race tomorrow. Yeah, so the rain has stopped 30 minutes ago. So we just have standing water on the track now. And yeah, looking forward to this then. Let's see. Oh, because Max Verstappen is starting from the back of the grid this in tomorrow's race, there's no point in him trying to push in qualifying. So he will just be looking out to try and gain as much knowledge as possible, and he will also be saving tires because I think there's an allowance of 3 intermediate tires and 2 wet tires for the entire weekend. So if Max Verstappen only uses one set of intermediates today, then he will have a lot of, well, he'll have fresh sets of tyres for tomorrow, depending on whichever conditions he needs and if he needs fresh tyres or not. And most likely, if there is rain, there'll also be a safety car. And when there's a safety car, it's always good to have a fresh set of tyres to go push and just overtake everyone on the safety car restart. The only person Verstappen will have to out-qualify is Charles Leclerc if he wants to start P19. And if he doesn't out-qualify Charles Leclerc, then he'll start P20. Which neither of them are much of an issue, really, because they're all, like, being 19th and 20th, not that big of a difference. All right. So qualifying is starting in 4 minutes now, and yeah, just looking forward to it. Oh, hello, Gamer, Fabian King, and Ivan. Did I see the VTB banners? I didn't. No, I haven't. So this race is where Red Bull needs Perez to take points off Hamilton, but he's been off the pace in the dry. Yeah. Perez hasn't had the best record in the rain. He in Imola last year, it was intermediate conditions, and he spun out twice, I think. And then in Germany 2019, crashed on the opening lap. So Perez hasn't got the best weather, hasn't got the best track record in the rain, and the Red Bull car is rather unstable to drive. Only Max Verstappen can truly drive it properly. So Perez is going to have a difficult time, but he has also like 10 years of experience in Formula 1, so he'll put that to good use. But welcome along to the 2021 Russian Grand Prix. We have qualifying today in Sochi, the Sochi Autodrome, the home of the Winter Olympics. The circuit is 5.8 kilometers, 3.6 miles long, and the top speeds are around about 200 miles an hour. They won't be reaching that today in the wet, and there is practically no elevation change there's only 2 meters of elevation change around the whole circuit, and there's 18 corners, and there's a lot of action that goes down in turn 2. 2017 Palmer and Grosjean, 2015 Vettel and Kvyat, 2019 Antonio Giovinazzi getting squished, getting sandwiched, in fact, in between Ricciardo and someone else. 2020 in turn 13, that's a very big overtaking zone right after the straight, just the start of the third sector. Albon pulled off a lot of good moves as well. So the tyres selected for the Russian Grand Prix are C5, C4, C3. The softest tyres because it's quite a low energy circuit. But the wet weather tyres are the full wets, which can displace up to 35 litres of water per second. And then the intermediates, which can displace up to 35. Wait, the full wets can do 65 and the inters can do 35 litres per second. But track conditions are 14 degrees air temp and 17 degrees track temp. So track pretty wet, and there's quite a bit of standing water. The curbs are completely wet, so the drivers won't want to touch the curbs whatsoever. And yeah, are the race graphics working in Sochi? By the looks of it, they are working. I have no confirmation because the drivers will have to go out on track to just double check. But yeah, it's looking good. Oh yeah, also guys, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that as well. Alright, so we've got 30 seconds till green flag at Sochi. We'll see if anyone's lining up at the grid because, well, to get fresh sets to start off first with no spray is going to be a very big benefit. So I'm just going to refresh the website. It will go black and then, yeah, we'll be back. Oops. Thank you for the subscription, Jana Krivos. I don't know how to say that. Let's see. All right. No, I can't check just yet. But the clock is ticking down and there's no real rain. So no one has, yeah. So as confirmed by the F1 feed, no one has any experience of this track when it's wet. So the next 18 minutes is going to be very, very exciting, very treacherous. All right. We have drivers coming out on track. Let's go. You could see the brake lights in the rear view, but so we have green lights now. Pierre Gasly is out on track, so is Carlos Sainz. We have team radio from Charles Leclerc. Let's play that. and they are out on the inters as well.
Wait, maybe before it's green, so we keep the tires hot. Copy.
Yep. So they just want to keep. They just want to have the most tire temperature, because obviously in the wet with 17-degree track temperature, it's not going to help heating up your tires, and tire temperature is rather important. So Pierre Gasly's out on track. You can see him now just coming out of turn 4. All right, everyone's going out on track. No one's waiting behind. And let's see what tires everyone's on. So Alonso is on the wets apparently. Gasly, Raikkonen, Sonoda are all on the intermediates, and then once they all cross the second sector line, we'll find out what tires they're on. And yeah, all right, Q1 is underway, and it's mostly intermediates except Alonso's on full wets. All right, and we'll just wait and see what the perfect lines are to take and what not. And yeah, so next 15 minutes or so will be just commentary from me. But the cars do look really nice in the rain, with all of the spray just flying off them. Looks very cool. Everyone's doing short shifting because they don't want to get any wheel spin and spin out, of course. So Yuki Sonoda taking it very, very carefully coming out of the pit lane. He hasn't had the best rookie season, but he is still learning every single race and building upon his knowledge to try and get some good performances in. So here we go. Pierre Gasly now starting his first lap of the day. First driver to start a lap, just going down the straight. We'll see if he's going for a double warm-up lap. That's probably the best way to do it, because there's no way you're getting enough tire temperature over one lap, especially around Sochi. So the track looks relatively dry in most places, but there is a lot of spray. Everyone's out. The only person on wet is Alonso, and a bit of drizzle has started. So the rain has restarted, but it's not heavy whatsoever. It's just a little light drizzle. And yeah, all right then. Pierre Gasly is flying as he always is. He is 2 seconds quicker than everyone else in the second sector. Oh no, never mind. He hasn't crossed the first sector line yet. So he goes purple with the first sector of a 40-second first sector, and we'll wait and see what everyone else can do. But the next driver behind him is Yuki Sonoda. So the 2 AlphaTauris, then 3 Ferrari powered cars. Oh, and then we have an Alfa Ferrari, and then the rest of the grid is also coming through. No one is sat in the pits. Everyone is out on track trying to get as much knowledge as possible, because no one has driven this circuit before, and there is literally no visibility on the TV cameras anymore. You just see the drivers coming out of the spray, and then they're already just going into more spray. So Carlos Sainz has set the quickest first sector. These lap times are most likely just going to be banker laps. Yeah, so Leclerc goes a second quicker than Sainz. And yeah, just everyone's saying in their first lap times. The highest top speed is Charles Leclerc, 285 kilometers an hour. So he's dared to go up to 8th gear and push that Ferrari engine. They probably needed to do that to make sure after his spin yesterday that all the gears are working fine. So Pierre Gasly crosses the line, set as a provisional lap time of a 1:51. Soon to be probably beaten by his teammate and Carlos Sainz. All right, but this is it. And George Russell will probably be very much enjoying this. So Vettel's just broke the top speed. He's now at 2:93. So the 4-time world champion showing his experience. Pierre Gasly 4 seconds quicker than Raikkonen and Sonoda. And yeah, Pierre Gasly, as always, outperforming that AlphaTauri by a significant margin. Even Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari is slower than him. So very good lap from Pierre Gasly. We still have the rest of the grid going through the field. No one has spun yet. Quite a lot of people have got big snaps of oversteer. But no one is pushing right to the limits. No one's on the curbs because they're all absolutely soaking, and any bit of that wet paint can just, any bit of the paint can just spin you off completely. Everyone's going rather cautious, not even full on the brakes, like no 100% braking or anything like that. So we have Charles Leclerc, who's just beat Gasly's lap time by a second and a half. As we know, Leclerc's quite good in the rain, and he's very, very adaptable. And yeah, QUALI has started, and yeah, Bottas gets a good result. I definitely do want Bottas to get a good result. But this is it now. 12 minutes. 12 minutes remaining of the session, and all of the drivers still short shifting and doing their shifts all very late in the corner to not upset the rear of the car. All right. Any surprises? Well, Lando Norris going up into P1, Seb Vettel into P5. Gasly immediately beats Norris's time. Gasly goes 2 seconds quicker than his previous lap time, so track evolution will also be very big here. With there's no more rain that's actually coming down, or there's a very slight little drizzle, which probably has no impact. So the more the F1 cars drive over, the more spray will be, the more standing water will be removed, and the less standing water in the track, the quicker the track. So whoever goes last will have the best chance of setting the quickest lap time. So Pierre Gasly goes 2 seconds quicker than his previous lap time, setting purple second and third sectors, which is, oh, we have a yellow flag. All right, someone has crashed. Let's find out. Ooh, it might be Antonio Giovinazzi. I'm not 100% sure. I can't tell just yet. But Antonio Giovinazzi is going rather slowly compared to everyone else. I'll just double check the telemetry. Whoops. Oh, I've just missed it. All right. Well, I'll let you know. I think it is Giovinazzi, though. Yeah, he is crawling around. Back to green flag. So I think Antonio Giovinazzi just had a spin. All right, that's fine. And there is a drier racing line appearing as well. So everyone's sticking to the dry racing line. And maybe by the end of Q3, we will see... we'll see maybe some slicks. There'll have to be a lot of driving going on for slicks to come out, but yeah. All right, Hamilton has set the quickest first and second sector, so he is obviously the 7-time world champion, very good in the rain, and yeah, will probably be beating Pierre Gasly's lap time by a considerable margin, and obviously having the Mercedes car, which is a lot quicker than the AlphaTauri for sure, and it was Antonio Giovinazzi with the spin, I can confirm. So just another mistake, which isn't going to be helping Frederick Vasseur. Isn't going to be helping his contract negotiations, really. He's still undecided on whether he's driving next year or not. And yeah, every single performance from him counts. And here we have Lewis Hamilton going 3 seconds quicker than everyone else. Bottas goes 2 seconds behind Hamilton, and Stroll just sets a lap time to go into third place. So there is a lot of track evolution coming in and coming into play now. And yeah, we'll wait and see who goes last. But Max Verstappen's just getting put back into the pits because he just set a lap time, so he is because he's starting last of the grid anyway. There is no point in him wasting his tires or wearing out his engine. So just another opportunity to save some reliability for Max Verstappen. So I'll let you know what happened to Antonio Giovinazzi. He went over he went over the curb and then sort of lost it. His rear right just touched the curb, and then when he touched it, he sort of lost it. So that's what happened to Antonio Giovinazzi. If I can get an image up, I will. And Stroll is up in P4, but Stroll's very good in the wet. In fact, that is one of Stroll's main advantages, because he doesn't have a particular driving style. Everyone else has a particular driving style. So Kimi Raikkonen will want a really unstable rear, and he'll sort of drive the F1 car like a rally car, whereas Lewis Hamilton wants sort of understeer. Lance Stroll is very adaptable to what he does. And that is why he's amazing in the rain, because he can just adapt to whatever conditions he wants. We have team radio from Valtteri Bottas, so let's play this.
And Gasly going quicker on lap 2, so we're going for consecutives.
Alright, so they are going for consecutive laps because just you get extra tire temperature, and the track is also cleaning up, so it helps out everyone in the long term. And yeah. Alright, so I could probably get a few images up, in fact. Let's see. Right, well, let's get that out. Here we go. That's what the track looks like. So it's not too wet, it's just a lot of standing water. And yeah. Alright. Next at the top of the grid is still Lewis Hamilton. Schumacher's coming to the pit, so is Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi's probably come in to make sure his engine's well, to make sure the car's all right after the spin. Perez not having any luck though, still slower in the middle sector than he was on his previous lap, getting held up by a bit of traffic as well, and a very unstable rear end. He's tried to get on the power, and the car is slip and sliding everywhere. Alonso switched on to intermediates, so the wet tyre was the wrong tyre to choose, especially when there's only just standing water. So he's onto the inters, and we'll wait and see what he can do. But Nicholas Latifi is up into 4th place. He's just at a lap time, so that is a lot of track evolution coming through, considering Nicholas Latifi is 2 seconds slower than Lewis Hamilton. The next set of lap times will probably be the most important. So Sergio Perez goes into P5, slower than Nicholas Latifi, in fact, showing the Red Bull car is very unmanageable. And in fact, the top speed Perez achieved was 22 kilometers an hour slower than Latifi, which is a lot in Formula 1 terms. So Perez not having the best of runs. We have team radio from Seb Vettel. Let's see what he has to say.
So we are slow on this one. We can just cool the tyres a bit, and then we'll decide if we're going to box now to get push on another set. What's your thoughts?
Tyres still seem to be good.
Go to cool to charge. Let's cool this one, and then we'll push the next lap.
All right, so that's the thing then. They're just deciding whether to push or not with the tyres. Vettel thinks that you can go 2 laps on the tyres, go a push lap, a cool down lap, recharge the battery, and then another push lap. So Perez has gone and improved again. He set purple first sector, so he is flying. Vettel has set set personal best second and third sectors, and he has put himself up to 5th place. But Perez is flying, so I was saying he wasn't doing so good before, but he seemed to got the hang of it. Going into turn 13 now. We'll wait and see if he can nail this final sector and go P1 and help Max Verstappen with the damage limitation. That's what the ideal Red Bull teammate will do, and that's probably what Helmut Marko and Christian Horner also want him to do. So he crosses the line now, Sergio Perez, and he puts himself up into 1st place. Yep, 2 seconds quicker than Lewis Hamilton. So the times are tumbling now with a dry line emerging, and there is no more rain anymore. So just standing water, and the standing water is being sent off into the air with the Formula 1 cars driving around. Yeah, all right. Next across the line, Esteban Ocon he actually has a 4-year deal with Alpine. But sadly he's still underperforming compared to Fernando Alonso, who only has a 2-year deal. Fernando Alonso goes up to 3rd place. His experience in the rain definitely showing through. And yeah, I mean, Fernando Alonso, an amazing driver, and we'll just wait and see what he can do in the latter stages of qualifying. So there are 4 minutes and 20 seconds left of Q1. With Perez top of the timings, and currently the elimination zone is Raikkonen, Mazepin, Giovinazzi, Schumacher, and Verstappen. Verstappen will be definitely staying in the elimination zone, so you only need to beat 4 drivers instead of 5 drivers to get out of the elimination zone, because Verstappen is not trying to get out. He's already out of the car and just going back to the things, going back to his motorhome. So this was a spin for Antonio Giovinazzi, if any of you guys were wondering. He just spun it on the curb and then nearly hit Charles Leclerc, nearly hit him, but other than that, that wasn't that much that exciting from Antonio Giovinazzi. And then looking back onto the track now, both Bottas and Hamilton improving in the 2nd and 3rd sectors, and well, yeah, the track evolution is definitely coming through. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left now. So everyone will be coming out of the pits. Everyone except Verstappen is out of the pits. And they'll be charging up their batteries and getting ready for a final run or a final 2 runs. To try and nail this and try and get as much experience as possible, because that's more important than getting through, because most of these drivers are going to get through anyway. They just need to get the experience of know which curbs you can go on, which curbs you can't. And use that to get as high up the grid as possible. Verstappen is in last place because he is... what is he doing? What's Max Verstappen doing? Oh yeah, he has got a brand new engine, so there's no point in him pushing, because he's going to start back of the grid anyway. Yeah, so we have a yellow flag. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know. Someone has had a bit of an accident. It's Sergio Perez is stopped on the pit straight. That's not looking good considering for the man in P1. He has restarted now, so I think he might have had a bit of a spin. I'll let you know what happens there. I'll probably get an image up as well. All right. So, Lando Norris will probably be heading the train of the final laps. We have Valtteri Bottas, who's just set a lap time, goes 59 milliseconds quicker than Sergio Perez. So the track evolution sort of coming to an end, or just a slow lap from Bottas, who knows. But both of them in the 146 threes and, well, mid 143s, 146s, sorry, and a fresh set of intermediate tyres on both Williams cars, so they are doing their absolute best to try and stay out of the elimination zone. And yeah, all right. So Lewis Hamilton sets the quickest first sector, goes 2 seconds quicker than Valtteri, 2/10 quicker than Valtteri Bottas in the first sector alone. So, well, Hamilton is coming to try and get pole position. You know, now he might get held up by Mazepin. In fact, that'd be quite funny. But anyway, going down the straight now, Hamilton in fact has the highest top speed out of anyone on the circuit as well, 307 kilometers an hour. I think 5 kilometers an hour quicker than the next quickest driver, Danny Rick and Lando Norris, both of the McLarens, looking to be safe to make it through. And Kimi Raikkonen setting green sectors all around. He is definitely improving, and hopefully he can stay out of that elimination zone and maybe out qualify Antonio Giovinazzi as well. I'd love to see Kimi do that. So Pierre Gasly has decided to box because there's no point risking it. Maybe in case you bin it, because obviously rain. Even though these are the most skilled drivers in the entire world, driving in the rain is very treacherous. So Pierre Gasly have decided to play it safe and just pit and not go for the extra laps. And considering he's in P4, it's a pretty safe decision. We have team radio from Lance Stroll, so let's play that.
One more lap, keep pushing, keep pushing.
All right, so that's it. Everyone else except Pierre Gasly and Max Verstappen are on track and pushing to the absolute limits now. So Lewis Hamilton didn't improve in the middle sector, most likely because he got held up by Mazepin. So Hamilton will definitely be on the radio complaining about that in a second or two. And next across the line, Lando Norris, part-time Twitch streamer, full-time F1 driver, crosses the line, goes up into P4. Very good drive from him, and his consistency is coming back now. P2 in Monza, P4 in Sochi, and just strong performances from Norris all around. Russell is really wrestling that Williams around the circuit, especially in the third sector. He's putting multiple steering actions into one corner, and not smooth compared to the usual George Russell, but he is dragging that Williams around, and we'll see if he can make it through into Q2. He is currently on the elimination zone, 15th place. Vettel crosses the line, goes up into 4th place. Very good lap from him. Russell is next to cross the line. Let's see where he goes. He goes 11th place. Looks like he will be safe. Next to cross the line, Mick Schumacher. That documentary, do recommend watching it. The Schumacher documentary on Netflix, very good. And next is Fernando Alonso. He goes up into 7th place, and Lewis Hamilton goes up first. Yep, so he's first in Q1, so not that has any impact, but he's 4/10 quicker than Bottas and Perez. And yeah, Hamilton just asserting the fact that he's a 7-time world champion with amazing pace in the rain. Next across the line, Nicholas Latifi. He goes 10th place, one position ahead of Russell by 1/10 of a second. And then we have everyone else has finished their laps by the looks of it. So the elimination zone is Kimi Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Nikita Mazepin, the 2 Alfa Romeos and 2 Haas cars. And that is the elimination zone. So those drivers have been eliminated alongside Max Verstappen, and then they will not be progressing through into Q2. Russell might actually get out-qualified by Latifi. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Latifi just had extra track evolution, in fact, compared to Russell, because Latifi's lap was a lot later after Russell's. So, nevertheless, good job from both the Williams teams to get both Williams drivers to get out there. Oops, to get out of the Q2, to get out of Q3. Sorry. So that has been Q1. Q2 will be starting in around 2 or 3 minutes. So a dry line has emerged. Like, you can definitely clearly see a dry line where there is little to no standing water. Now it's just a question of if the teams decide to risk it and to go on the slicks to try and get as much performance as possible. Still rather risky, but maybe by the end of Q3 it will be viable. And yeah. Alright guys, so let me know in the chat your predictions for who's going to get pole position, because we have Hamilton who's flying, Bottas whose favourite circuit is Sochi first, and first win in Sochi as well was Valtteri Bottas. So let me know your predictions for who's going to get pole position. And well, this just looks like a pretty cool image, so that's why I'm just showing you the rain in Spa, in Sochi, not Spa. So used to saying the rain in Spa because of that race that happened there I think a month ago. In fact, seems like only a week ago, but it's quite a while ago. We'll have some team radio coming through as well. Yeah, we have Mick Schumacher team radio, so let's play this. Here we go. Yeah, flashback to Spa. Oh, Mick's team radio's just disappeared. Never mind. Alright, but the Haas and the Alfa Romeos have big plans for next season. Both teams have stopped developing this year's car, and they are just looking to develop next year's car and try and get the best performance possible. And yeah, alright guys, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so, because we have 1.1k live viewers but only 89 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so, and if you haven't subscribed as well, be sure to do that. Will help out the channel a lot. And yeah, I stream every single week, well, every single F1 weekend for qualifying and the race, so I'm streaming tomorrow as well. Alright. So it's quite a surprise that Yuki Sonoda make it out, because Yuki Sonoda, your rookie season, hasn't driven that much in the rain, and well, it's the first time for everyone driving in Sochi in the rain. But Yuki Sonoda had a good performance, and let's see if he can make it through into Q2 and maybe match his teammate, because by the looks of it, Pierre Gasly is carrying AlphaTauri, scoring I think nearly 66% of the points, so 2/3 of the points. Pierre Gasly has scored for AlphaTauri, and only 1/3 has been scored by Yuki Tsunoda. There has been an incident at turn 2 between Ricciardo and Stroll, which will be investigated at the end of qualifying. And also, guys, just to point out, Mick Schumacher is 4 seconds quicker than Nikita Mazepin in the same car. Yeah, 4 full seconds. So that's why Mick Schumacher should be driving in Formula 1 and not Nikita Mazepin. Is there a post-race show on Avli? There is not a post-race show this weekend. There will be a post-race show next weekend in Turkey. I think it's in 2 weeks' time, in fact. But we'll have a post-race show on Avli with, after the race in Turkey. So, and there's also a new map in Avli in Turkey, so that's something to look forward to. Are we in the middle of Q2? No. Q1 has just finished. I need to change the title, in fact, to Q2 now on the stream. But yeah, it's looking good. Ferrari should have tried to get Mick into the second Alpha seat. That is definitely. I think if Mick Schumacher's in the Alpha, it will definitely be a lot better for him, because he is. Ooh, okay. So I think it was Sergio Perez who had the little spin going into turn 2, and maybe I can get an image or a video of that up. But nothing so far, and yeah, all right. So every single driver except Daniel Ricciardo has completed 8 or 9 laps of the track. Well, 9 or 10 laps, sorry, of the track. So everyone has around about the same knowledge, and we'll wait and see what happens there. We have team radio from Stroll. We'll play that. So I think Stroll got blocked, and he's going to be complaining on the radio, so let's watch out for that. And Q2 has begun, in fact, 30 seconds ago, so yeah.
I got blocked. Completely blocked.
Yeah, well, it was quite clear what Stroll wanted to say. Gasly and Russell come out of the pits as well. Ricciardo haven't missed much in terms of action. Giovinazzi spun, Perez spun. There's standing water on the track, and the 5 drivers to be eliminated are Verstappen, the 2 Alphas, and the 2 Hasses. Green light now, and 13 minutes of Q2 to go. Max is out because there's no point giving a tow in the rain, because the spray counteracts any, like, you'll have no visibility if you have a tow in the rain, so there's no point getting a tow because you can't see the track. So Max wasn't giving a tow, but he does have an engine penalty, so that's why he decided not to go into Q2. Yeah, alright. So, let's see. We have Vettel, Gasly, Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, Russell, Stroll, Sonoda, all out on track. Everyone's coming out now. Everyone is still on the Inters by the looks of it. It will only be maybe right at the end of Q3 that we're going to get someone venturing out on the slicks. And whoever does will have to, be very precise with their driving, because there is still there's a puddle coming out of turn 4 which goes across the entire circuit except this tiny, like, 2-meter width gap where there's no water. So they're gonna have to thread the needle through that and not hit any water, otherwise they're gonna spin off and crash. So anyone who does venture out on slicks will be very brave and have to be very precise with their driving. And yeah, Vettel seems quick, and yeah, Vettel, I mean, in the wet, it's more the drivers, Latifi's, okay, breaking news, I guess it's breaking news. Latifi's also starting from the back of the grid tomorrow, because he has a new engine penalty. He has a new engine, so he's got a penalty. We have team radio from AlphaTauri from Pierre Gasly. We'll see what he has to say. He's just out on track right now.
And we have no more...
Okay. We have no more rain expected. I think that's what they were trying to say. Also, if you guys have subscribed, I think Stephen Tajakau, Ben Densford, MHK. Thank you everyone for subscribing. Do appreciate it. Yeah, alright. 11 minutes left to go. The track is very much dried out. There are very few puddles still on the track, but the ones where there are puddles, they're pretty big. So, it's just risk versus reward. If you want to risk it to go on the slicks and maybe you might crash. Latifi will be at the back, and yeah. Okay. Stroll has set the quickest first sector. Quicker than Gasly, in fact. So Stroll, adapting very well to the track conditions. As always, yeah, so let's just replay the Pierre Gasly team radio. Let's see.
And we have no more rain expected. Keep working on your bikes.
Yeah, no more rain expected. So that has been it. So it will just be standing water now on track now. Gasly goes quickest, a second quicker than Ocon, 2 seconds quicker than his teammate, and Russell just had a rather slow lap. He might be going for a double warm-up, which might be a good idea considering you're on Inters now, and the Inters have a slightly higher operating temperature of, I think it's 85 degrees or something. Yeah, so Stroll puts himself up in second place, still can't beat Pierre Gasly, even with the quickest first sector. Russell now, quickest first sector from him. The last time he had his quickest first sector, he went up into provisional pole position in Q3. So, quickest first sector now, we'll see what he can do. In fact, 4/10 quicker than Lewis Hamilton. So, Russell's flying, we'll wait and see what he can do. Hamilton now, quickest middle sector, so Russell and Hamilton trading fastest sectors. Didn't expect to hear that, did you? Qualifying is apparently very important because no one has won the Russian Grand Prix starting below third position. So, other than Lewis Hamilton once in 2016, so everyone who's won the Russian Grand Prix has started in third place or higher. Hamilton puts himself up into first place, in fact, goes 2/10 quicker than Norris, and Norris himself is 4/10 quicker than Gasly. And we'll wait and see what Russell can do. He sets a green middle sector, so looks like the Williams just had a lot of pace in the first sector with some extra top speed. Russell finishes his lap, and he goes up into 9th place. Still a respectable time for a Williams, but not what we were hoping for. Next is Pierre Gasly. He is restarted. He's going for another flying lap, double. So he's done his warm up. Well, he's done a push, and now he's done a cool down and on his push lap again. And it's green light, and yeah. All right then. Bottas sets the quickest first sector, 3/10 quicker than Hamilton. So Bottas is fighting back now, and you'll love to see this. I mean, we want to see a three-way battle, in fact, if possible, between Bottas, Hamilton, and Verstappen at the front, because that is, well, more people in a battle, the better it is. So Bottas now, quickest first sector, flying through turn number 8, I think it is. Oh no, turn number 9, going down the straight. We have team radio from Lewis Hamilton. We'll wait and see what he has to say.
Split between two fronts.
Okay, copy.
I have no idea what he said. Oh, but Bottas sets the quickest middle sector as well. So, but Bottas has now got traffic of Norris coming through the final sector, which might hinder his lap time. Nevertheless, he's still a significant margin quicker than Hamilton, and it's looking good, really. And if any of you guys were wondering how much the rain is still out on track, that's what the spray looks like from the Aston Martin. So still a fair amount, but it's not like it's still not slicks just yet, but it's getting closer and closer to being slick conditions. Valtteri Bottas locks up going into turn 2. He goes straight on. So but after he'd fixed his lockup and learned from his mistake, goes up into first place, 6/10 quicker than his teammate. So Bottas is flying around Russia, his favourite circuit, of course, and it looks like he's just found that rhythm, and is just pumping in the quick lap times now. Vettel and Stroll both 6th and 7th place now, and looking good for both of those guys. Vettel's still 4/10 quicker than Stroll, so the World Championship experience and knowledge is coming through for Vettel. And the track is getting drier and drier as we speak. 6 minutes left of the session. And, yep. Latifi, by the looks of it, isn't coming out because he is getting a brand new engine. So Russell will out-qualify him, and Russell will be trying he's actually gone into the pits, in fact, George Russell, to try and get a fresh set of tyres. But he'll have to be careful because next for tomorrow's race he won't get any extra set of tyres. He'll only have 3 intermediate tyres and 2 wet tyres, and he just wants to, you want to preserve your tyres as much as possible, so driving laps on them isn't going to help. But obviously he wants to make it up into Q3 as well. Will they risk the slicks? That's more. I don't know. You'll have to ask. I guess if anyone's going to risk the slicks, it will be Sergio Perez, maybe, because he is down in 9th place in the Red Bull. He's actually, in fact, coming to start a lap, I think, or maybe coming to end a lap. I'm not 100% sure. In fact, Hamilton just beats Bottas's time by 1/10 of a second, quickest first sector, and then just marginally slower than Bottas in second and third. So Hamilton is putting in the quick lap times, beat Bottas, and Norris is still in P3. And Norris is, amazing job from Norris in that McLaren. Just week in, week out, consistently performing. And yeah. Stroll is still sort of struggling with oversteer, second to last corner and last corner, both of them getting tiny little twitches, and and the rear just stepping out slightly when getting on the power, so that's not helping his lap time, but he is still up in 5th place. Vettel will cross the line in a few seconds. Russell now crosses the line. He goes up into... He does not improve, in fact. Russell doesn't improve. Vettel now crosses the line. Green, 1st and 2nd sectors, goes up into 7th place, 1/10 behind his teammate. So from 4th place all the way down to 9th place, there is a 2/10 gap. And yeah, I think everyone's struggling with snaps of oversteers. Alonso's also been struggling with the pace. And, well, obviously everyone has only had probably 20 laps of experience driving around this circuit in the wet, so it's fair enough, really. Stroll for pole. Well, that does rhyme, but I don't think that's happening. So Bottas is the speed king. Well, in fact, if we look at the top speeds, we'll find out who has got the best exit going onto the straight and who's maybe got a bit of a toe as well. Hamilton has the highest top speed, 307 kilometers an hour, and Bottas 302 kilometers an hour. Not that much of a difference, but everyone else is around about 300, and Hamilton is 7 kilometers an hour quicker. So Hamilton's running lower downforce and getting better exits. So he's obviously doing something correctly, and being a 7-time world champion, you'd expect him to do that as well. All right. Next, across, well, Pierre Gasly. Oh, wait, George Russell now coming through the final sector. We'll wait and see what his lap time is. The driver that's getting promoted up to Mercedes next year to be alongside Lewis Hamilton. It'll be a tough challenge, but I think George will rise to the challenge and eventually beat Lewis Hamilton, because he is just on fire at Williams, and if he can do that, if he can replicate the same thing at Mercedes, he's going to be absolutely golden. He puts himself up into 11th place, George Russell, with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left of the session. Stroll is going through on a flying lap, not the best flying lap, especially with a slow first sector, and he crosses the line, does improve, goes up into 4th place. Next to cross the line is Seb Vettel. He is in 7th place, and he does not improve. Oh no, Seb Vettel's starting his flying lap now. But the track is getting drier and drier. There are still patches of puddles, and maybe in 10 minutes time or so, it'll be safe enough to go onto the slicks. This is Q2. Yeah, I should probably get like something that indicates that it's which qualifying session it is. That'd probably be the best way to do it. But it's Q2 right now, and yeah, just looking forward to it. What happened to Max? Max Verstappen got a brand new engine, so he is starting from the back of the grid. So Red Bull thought there's no point, if we're going to start last anyway, we might as well just qualify last as well. We have team radio from Valtteri Bottas. Let's play that. Here we go. He is just 1/10 behind Lewis Hamilton, so let's see what he has to say.
So if you think you're not damaging the tyre, you can push another lap. So Lewis now P1 at 45.4, so there's a 10th there. It's mainly sector 1, so on sector 1. So you got 3 laps left. It'll be strat 5 if you're going for this lap.
And we have team radio from Pierre Gasly as well. Oh, never mind. All right, so Valtteri Bottas being told only go for another lap if you're going to damage the tyres. If you're not going to damage the tyres, sorry, because they have to do another full race tomorrow on these same intermediates and wet tyres. So if they damage their tyres too much, they're going to be compromising tomorrow's race, which they don't want to do, because you get the points for doing the racing, not the qualifying. And yeah, all right. Bottas is just being told it's mainly the first sector. So first sector is just getting a good exit out of the final corner, and then nailing turn 1, and then holding it flat through turn 3. Oh no, nailing turn 2, holding it flat through turn 3, and then just a smooth exit out at turn 4, and not going too far off the track. But this is it. Final minutes of Q3 now. Hamilton is extended his advantage over Valtteri Bottas by 2.5 tenths. So now 3.5 tenths is the gap between the two drivers Ocon crosses the line, goes up into 5th place, puts George Russell in the elimination zone. And then we have Sergio Perez, who's currently in 4th place, crossing the line now. He does not improve. Oh no, Perez, I think, is boxing. Then Danny Rick, who's currently on the cusp of being eliminated, puts in his lap time and he promotes himself up into 7th place. So Gasly is now at risk, with Carlos Sainz in 12th place looking to improve. Carlos Sainz goes 9th, just knocks out Pierre Gasly, and Vettel's now in the elimination zone. But by the looks of it, the only driver that can knock him out are... Oh no, there's 2 drivers. Sonoda and Russell both have the chance to knock Seb Vettel out. So Russell now coming through with green 1st and 2nd sectors, quicker than Vettel in both of them, and crosses the line now out of the final corner. No oversteer for George, and he goes into 9th place, knocking Vettel into the elimination zone. And next is Yuki Sonoda on his Formula 1 debut at Sochi. Oh, well, no, Formula 1 rookie season at Sochi. Does not improve, is in 13th place, sorry. So the drivers that have been eliminated are Vettel, Gasly, Sonoda, Latifi, and Leclerc. And then we'll have Q3. So that has been Q2 for you guys. If you guys have enjoyed, then be sure to like and subscribe. I stream every single quali and race for Formula 1, so every single weekend really. And yeah, just appreciate all the support. Thank you everyone for all of the nice comments in the chat. And Russell's in Q3. Very good job for him from George. So this will be it now. 10 minutes left of... Oh no, it'll be 2 minutes till Q3 starts, and then it'll be another 12 minutes of the Q3 session. So I need to change the stream title again. And here we go. And also, guys, while we're waiting for Q3 to start, there are links to my Twitter and Instagram in the description. So if you haven't followed me there, be sure to do so. I just post like random funny memes and stuff. And there's also a link to the Discord server as well. All right. So the drivers in the top 10 are Hamilton, Bottas, Alonso, then Norris, Perez, Ocon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Russell, and Sainz. Vettel, what happened to Vettel? He just had the performance, but I think he set his lap too early, and then Trek Evolution sort of helped Sainz and Russell to outqualify him. And yeah, that's probably what happened to Vettel, because by the looks of it, Carlos Sainz is now pushing over the curbs as well. At the start of Q1, the curbs were basically no man's land. If you go there, you're basically you're gonna have a spin and just crash out. So we have team radio from Vettel. He's probably gonna be pretty disappointed. Let's play this. Here we go.
No way! Oh, way! Ah!
Well, that's what it is. Vettel's rather annoyed. P11, and it was 0.05 of a second. So very, very close, very, very small margins here at Sochi. Just so you guys are wondering, Leclerc, Verstappen, and Latifi all have engine penalties and will be starting from the back of the grid tomorrow. And yes, that's what's happening for Max, Latifi, and Leclerc. And Pierre Gasly, that's quite a shock, because Pierre Gasly is usually just Mr. Consistent at P6. Every single qualifying session, he's always P5, P6 in 5th or 6th place. But unfortunately, he's in 12th today. Just not being able to do the same to match his qualifying records in the dry today in Sochi. Q3 on slicks. Well, that is a question. Is it worth it to risk it on slicks? And because Q3, you only have 12 minutes, so you only have time to go for a one flying lap, come back in, and then go for another flying lap. And if you only have that much time, you might be wasting your time going on the slicks and then only have one actual time on the wets. So, yeah. All right. We have team ready from Stroll. Let's play this.
Yeah, it wasn't the best lap, but you tell me.
Currently P4, we can cool and go again. We don't think boxing is the right thing, so keep pushing.
Okay.
So Sebastian is pushing behind.
Why don't we think boxing is the right thing?
We think the tyres are recovering with cool laps, so we can keep cool and push again.
Yep, so the tyres are recovering. So, the advantage... Do you have any pictures of the track? Yeah, I do. Well, here we go then. I think this is a pretty good image to show you how much spray there is. That and that. So there's not like... This is probably the worst spray you could get because I think Perez is just going over a puddle now. But yeah, the spray's around about that much. It's not that... The spray isn't that big. As you guys can see. So, yeah. Alright then. Q3 now. 12 minutes of qualifying remaining and 10 drivers left. There might be slicks at the end of qualifying. You think it will be Bottas, Hamilton, Perez. Alright, well, you guys, be sure to put in your predictions in the chat. And also, if you could hit 250 likes, that would be very cool. We're actually quite close to 200. If we could hit 200 first and then 250, that would be very cool. And yeah. All right, Norris. Well, if Norris is on the second row, it's looking very good. And whoever's in third place, because it will be Hamilton and Bottas most likely in first and second. Whoever's in third place will have a chance of winning the race, because according to Sochi statistics, only one driver has ever won the race starting outside of the top three. Starting outside top three is basically I think it's like a 95% chance of you winning if you start in the top three. Oh, well, the drivers in the top three have a 95% chance of winning, not that one specific driver. You think Hamilton will be second because he's got... What are we doing here, racing or ping pong? Well, I know what we're not doing. We're not sailing on rain like we were in Spa. Sailing on rainwater. Yeah, sailing on rainwater, not rain. 3 drivers in total starting from the back of the grid. Yeah, Latifi, Leclerc, and Verstappen. Everyone getting a brand new engine, and Leclerc also getting an engine upgrade. Yeah, all right. So this is it. Q3 has begun. 11 minutes, 30 seconds left of the session. Some drivers coming out on track now, and we'll see if anyone ventures out on the slicks, because that will be rather interesting. Bottas, Hamilton, Norris. I think that'll be a safe bet to say Bottas, Hamilton, Norris. Is it wet? It's just standing water. There's no rain. And yeah, how does it work with 3 of them at the back of the grid? Gaming Baller is a good question. So what they do, they add up all of your grid penalties. So I think it's like getting a brand new engine is... Oh, getting a new internal combustion engine is, I think, a 15-place grid penalty, and then getting a new battery and a new MGUK is like another 10 and another 5. So they just add up all of the new parts that they've got, and then whoever's got the most new parts will start right at the back. And yeah, Hamilton, Norris, Perez, Bottas, Ricciardo. All right. Why does Carlos have 5 sets of inters? Wait, let me just... where does it say that? I think it might be... I don't know why Carlos has 5 sets of inters, to be honest. Bottas is first out on track, so he has no spray compared to Hamilton, who's just behind him. Ocon, who's getting tailed by Perez, and then we have Stroll, Ricciardo, Norris, and Sainz out on track. So the only driver who isn't out is Russell, and he will be conserving those tyres because he's already used quite a lot to get into Q3. Yep. All right. Bottas now starting his first flying lap. We'll see what he can do, and we'll in fact actually be able to compare the speeds of them going into turn 1 if we can. Bottas at Hamilton at 300 kilometers an hour, so and Perez only at Perez in fact going quicker than Hamilton on the first bit of the start finish straight. So looks like the Red Bull, well no, Perez actually has a tow from Ocon, so that's why Perez is going quicker. But everyone's stopped short shifting and they're still maxing out the gears now because they just want to get as much traction as possible and get as big as a advantage over the other drivers as possible. So Hamilton quickest in the first sector, 2 tenths quicker than Bottas, and yeah. All right then. So we have oh my god, I need to get some water to drink. Yeah, Perez definitely has a lot of pressure to step up because he needs to help Max Verstappen with the damage limitation as much as possible, because Max starting last, Hamilton most likely starting first or second. That's a lot of points gap between the two drivers. Alright, we have Stroll with the quickest first sector. Stroll did this before, in fact, and Hamilton sets the quickest lap time 1:44.50. Oh, 0.050. And then we have Valtteri Bottas 7 tenths behind him. So Bottas rather slow behind, quite a large gap behind. Then we have Stroll in third place. The adaptability of Lance Stroll coming in to help him, but still a full second off Hamilton. So it's, even though he has pace, still not enough. We have team radio from Danny Rick, so let's play that. Everyone's on Inters. I think that's what they were trying to say. And also, guys, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so because it really does help out the channel. And yeah, if you haven't liked the stream, then be sure to do that as well. All right, so here we go then. 6 minutes 50 seconds left of qualifying. Track has dried out. There's a solid dry line for drivers to drive on. Very little puddles remain now, and Hamilton is going all over the curbs, extending track limits, because now it's just the quest for who can set the fastest lap time. Track temperature is still rather low though, so don't think anyone will be venturing out on slicks just yet. Alright, we have team radio from Sergio Perez as well. Let's play this.
This is definitely blood, right? Confirm.
Exactly, no idea. We need to find you a water sponsor, mate. Yeah, I think we need to find, yeah, BWT can sponsor me. You know, the the Racing Point sponsor. Look at your most popular stream, Maricus. I think my most popular stream was the Hungary one. Yeah, that like got 140k views, I think, or something like that. Something rather ridiculous. Thank you for the donation, White Point. I'm not sure what currency that is, but yeah, do really appreciate the 10 CHF, whatever, I'm not exactly sure. But thank you so much. It does help out the channel. Do appreciate it. All right, 5 minutes left now. We'll see what Russell can do. In fact, he's in 10th place, but he's now on a flying lap where everyone else isn't. And yeah, all right. Hamilton's still quickest though by a significant margin. Norris beats out Bottas, so Bottas has a sloppy lap and Norris has hooked it all up. Looking at Norris's on board, no signs of snap oversteer, just in the final corner, gets a tiny little bit, but he puts himself ahead of Valtteri Bottas, which is amazing. That's Swiss franc. Well, thank you, White Point, for the 10 Swiss francs. Do appreciate it. And yeah. Well, we've got fans in Switzerland. I didn't know we had Swiss fans, but here we are. I guess I'm just Mr. Worldwide. Um, all right. Alonso's doing very well. 4th place for him in the Alpine. Ocon down in 7th place. Alonso's just performing very, very well. And the track is wet, but there is no more rain coming. And we have some slicks out. By the looks of it, the Williams team is putting slicks under George's car. All right, guys. Russell's going on to the slicks. All right, let's do this. Let's just double check if he's actually going out on slicks. Where are the tyres? Yeah. Oh, Russell, Sainz, Stroll, all on slicks. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. Everyone's coming out on slick tyres now. Here we go. We'll wait and see if it pays off. So let's keep an eye on George Russell and see if he has any issues handling that Williams with any oversteer or any puddles or anything like that. Yeah, he's getting a lot of twitching. Oh, there's a lot of oversteer and a lot of twitching going through turn 3. So it looks like it's not dry enough yet for slicks. Yeah, in the braking zones and accelerating everywhere, he's just twitching away. Luckily, George Russell's catching everything, but that's what it is. Norris is also on slicks. Then there's Alonso and Stroll as well. All right. We have team radio from oh my god, the team radio's just disappeared. All right, never mind. So we'll wait and see if everyone else comes out on slick tires as well. But Russell used all of his wet weathers, and I think they're keeping one for tomorrow's race because they don't want to wear out the tires too much. And yeah, where do we go after Russia? We go to Turkey, and that's in 2 weeks' time, so there's a week's break in the middle. And yeah, there's that. Yeah, the Lando Norris team radio, it's just disappeared, so I would play it, but it's disappeared. All right. Why didn't they have a limited wet sets? Because Pirelli can't make unlimited tires. Because if the F1 teams were allowed to use unlimited tires, they would use like unlimited tires. Like they would use so many. So that's why Pirelli have to put a limit on them, and the FIA do as well. Lando Norris has we have team radio from him, and it's actually reappeared. So let's play this before it disappears again.
I mean, it's definitely much drier. Definitely a lot drier. But I think in these conditions, these tyres could be the correct choice.
So Lando Norris is thinking that maybe these tyres are the correct choice. I'm not sure if he was on Inters or at Slicks when he said that, but looking at George Russell's and everyone else's lap times, in fact, no one is improving on their Inter tyres. So we have Russell now. He is crossing the first sector line, and he doesn't improve. Sainz sets a green middle sector, so maybe there's a bit of hope for the slick tyres to get quicker, but there's only 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining of the session. Lewis has Lewis hit the wall? I don't think he has. I don't know. Maybe they have. Oh, he did, yeah. Lewis got a new front wing, so Lewis has hit the wall. So he gets a new front wing. All right, he's not out. He's just got a new front wing. So thanks for that, Ivan. Do appreciate it. But there's now 49 seconds left. So Sainz is now starting his final flying lap. So is Bottas. So the order is, in fact, Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Sainz, Bottas, Ricciardo, Norris, Alonso, Russell, and Hamilton. All right. This is it then. The final runs of qualifying. Ocon doesn't improve in the first sector. Then let's see if Perez can do any better than him. Perez does not improve either in the first sector. So the slick tyres look like the wrong gamble to take. Russell improves Russell in fact improves, but maybe that's because, well, who knows why Russell's improved, but he's improved, but that's only because he had a really slow lap time before. Sainz once again finding pace on the slicks here. Sainz and Ricciardo, both drivers, setting green first sectors, and so is Lando Norris. Stroll sets the quickest middle sector. All right, so Stroll is outperforming that Aston Martin considerably, 4/10 quicker than the competition. And then we have Sainz, who goes even quicker than Stroll by about half a second. So could we see a Ferrari up on the podium? Up in P3 in qualifying? Who knows, because Sainz has got quickest first and middle sector. Personal best first sector, quickest middle sector, going through the third sector now. This is very tight and twisty, and this is where the soft tyres aren't going to help, especially with the off-camber corners. He'll be slipping and sliding everywhere, coming out the final corner now, trying to not get any oversteer and snaps. Goes through into P1. Oh my god, he's done it. Carlos Sainz is up in P1, 2 seconds quicker than Hamilton, and Hamilton's nowhere to be seen in terms of pace. Norris has got the quickest middle sector. Let's see if Norris can get his first pole position ever in Formula 1. Coming out the final corner now. Can he improve? He goes up into... Norris is on pole. He's done it. Oh my god, I've just hit my bed. Norris on pole. Twitch streamer boy, he's just done it. And then we have a yellow flag as well. Norris is just on pole position. And Russell's P3. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was the Ferrari master plan. Norris is in P1, quickest second and third sector, come out of nowhere. Hamilton is in P4, Sainz second, Russell third. What is going on? Yeah. Norris has just got his first ever pole position, and no one expected it. What a performance from him. And he goes half a second quicker than Sainz and 2 seconds quicker than Lewis Hamilton. And Russell has got third place. Russell's on the podium again. Let's see what he can do tomorrow. Hopefully he doesn't fall behind, and maybe he can do a bit of battling with Lewis Hamilton, which will be very exciting to see. But Norris is on pole position, guys. How has he done that? Carlos Sainz, the Ferrari driver, is... he's up into second place. Amazing job from him. But what a qualifying session that has been. Everything just kicking off right in the last 10 seconds of qualifying after the checkered flag. Wow. White Point, you donated 10 Swiss franc and said go Russell. Russell has just gone third place. So, amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Yes. Well, not yesterday. Last week, we had Danny Rick coming first and Lando Norris getting second. Lando Norris career pole position. We have team radio, in fact, from Lando Norris. Let's play this. He's going to be absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, I'm pushing still, so.
Oh.
Okay, no more comes.
Well, he just said he was pushing, but that is it. Everyone, if you have enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll carry on talking for a bit, but this is it. Pole for Lando Norris. Yeah, just Lando Norris on pole position. Wow. Amazing. And then Russell's in P2. This is sensational, to be honest. He's going to be... Well, I'm going to wait for this team radio to come through because I'm looking forward to listening what he has to say. But amazing job from him. Russell in P3 and Sainz in P2. So Russell starting in the top 3, 2 out of 3 races. Here we go, Lando Norris team radio. Hopefully it doesn't disappear.
Okay, pole position, mate. Pole position.
Oh my god. Oh. Yes.
Well, yeah, Norris is over the moon. Lando Norris, full-time Twitch streamer, part-time F1 driver, is on pole position. How has he done that? This is it. Absolutely amazing. Zach Brown is going to be over the moon, getting a 1-2 in Monza and then starting on pole position in Sochi. And also, according to the stats, guys, 95% of races are won by the people in the top 3. So that means either Norris, Sainz, or Russell, according to the stats, 95% chance of them winning. And Lewis Hamilton is not even in the top 3. 4th place for him. Valtteri Bottas down in 7th. So even though Sergio Perez couldn't come to help Max Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, and George Russell came along to help him. The young drivers of the future have come to help Max Verstappen with the damage limitation. And maybe Lewis will get a podium, but I think that with Norris on pole, he has a very good chance of staying there, because in Imola, in Monza, all of the races he's defended against Hamilton or a Mercedes. And, you know, if he can do that, that's just amazing. And I think this is also sort of a look forward to what's going to happen in the future. We have George Russell out-qualifying Lewis Hamilton. Next year, with Russell alongside Hamilton in the same team, I think that's going to happen quite often, because Russell is just so quick. And the tyres are in fact steaming because it was so... because of all of the wet track and all of the really hot tyres, the tyres are literally steaming all of the water off, like boiling it off. But that was that. Like, did anyone expect that? Wow. McLaren, in fact, had this ready. McLaren were like, Lando Norris on pole position. They had this ready for Norris getting pole. Wow. They've just done it. Wow. Amazing. I didn't know what else to say. I sort of just... Yeah. First ever pole position in his Formula 1 career for Lando Norris. Yeah, it was Hamilton's fault as well. Hamilton would have... he would have got through into the top 3 if he hadn't hit the front... If he hadn't damaged his front wing. But that was just a little mistake that crept in. And then that was that, really. And Sainz starting the... I think everyone's just a bit too crazy. And Lando Norris is doing the Seb Vettel, like, finger, I guess. Yeah, Carlos Sainz spun after getting second place. So still shows you the track conditions were pretty treacherous, considering he also spun. But he still got second place, you know. So I guess that paid off. Also, guys, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so, because I am streaming for tomorrow's race. Yeah, be sure to subscribe as well. Just helps out the channel. And yeah, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'll probably carry on streaming for a bit, but yeah. All right, we have a quote from Lando Norris. In fact, it feels amazing. I don't know what to say. It was a manic session. Extremely happy, thanks to the team as well. They've done an amazing job. That crossover session, the lap before, was 2 seconds down and wasn't very confident we could improve. I risked quite a bit and it paid off. So that's what it was, risk versus reward, whether pushing was worth it. And according to Lando Norris, he's risked it to... he'd managed that risk to absolute perfection and is now on pole position. Absolutely amazing job from Lando Norris. And I don't think anything's going to wipe the smile off his face, at least for the entirety of today. Amazing job from Norris. And yeah, just wow. And he's just said, hopefully first of many. So he has no idea what's going to happen tomorrow into turn 1. Maybe the Lando are going to put up a solid defense against Lewis Hamilton. Both drivers are just going to drive side by side and not let Lewis Hamilton get past, which would be a good strategy if Norris wants to keep that. Maybe Norris could get his first win tomorrow. Who knows? But by the end of the session, track had dried out and there were sparks flying. Crushed Potato, I'm back. Well, I think you've missed quite a bit because Lando Norris is on pole position. Yeah. Who am I cheering for? I guess I just Lando. He's been just consistently performing and finally got a pole position. And well, he got his podium last week, highest ever career finish last week in Monza. Oh, it wasn't last week, 2 weeks ago. And now he's got his first ever pole position. So it's just upwards for Lando Norris. Yeah, I mean, that just says it all. That smile is not going anywhere for Lando Norris. Yeah, I mean, I think that we can leave that out for a bit. Quali is over. George is in third place and Sainz is in second. Lando might be battling for the world title soon. Well, we'll have to wait and see about 2022. But maybe P3 is definitely on the cards for Lando Norris. All right, so we have team ready. Well, not team ready. We have a quote from Carlos Sainz. Right from the beginning, a very tricky qualifying. We did a very good strategy, a pretty strong lap. Unfortunately, I wasn't the first to cross the line. So I was first to cross the line, so I wasn't able to exploit the track improvements. I'll put on a fight and try and have some fun. Starting P2, the dirty side of the grid, it's really penalising. So Carlos Sainz already thinking about tomorrow's race. The left side of the right side of the grid will be dirty, and it will. Well, it's going to hinder his performance, of course, off the line. So he's going to have to hold off probably George Russell going into turn 1. Yeah. And now we have George Russell to talk about. George Russell is, well, how has he done that? He's it was in Spa that he put Williams on provisional pole and then into third place. And then we have now him in into second place, sorry, at Spa. And now he's in third place at Sochi. What an amazing drive. That's why he's driving for Mercedes next year. And we have a quote from him. I mean, it's crazy. Second time in the top 3. The team have done an amazing job. There was only one dry line, and if you were just a centimetre wide, you were on the wet stuff and off. Yesterday, our high fuel place was one of our best of the year, so I've got to go for the podium again. Nothing to lose. So George Russell is going for a podium in the Williams, and Hamilton is also starting on the dirty side of the grid. So George Russell is just going full send in that Williams car, which is in terms of pace is probably down in 15th place. George Russell's going for third. Absolutely amazing drive from him, and yeah, one to watch tomorrow. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's been today's stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow. I think I'll start half an hour before the race starts because we've got a lot to talk about after I process this qualifying session that's just happened. And yeah, just commentary for tomorrow's race as well. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a nice morning, day, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, fellas.